I have a friend from high school, Jade, who had recently broke up with his boyfriend of 6 years. To mend her broken heart, she made an account on Tinder to find a guy. She made a couple of matches and started chatting with them. There were a number of decent guys, but one person struck her the most, and his name was Tom. In Tom's profile picture, he was wearing a mask so she couldn't see his whole face, but for her, his eyes caught her attention. They started chatting with each other, and for some reason, she really liked his sense of humor. Tom asked Jade on a date, and because she felt happy talking with him, she decided to give it a go. She's single, free, and wants to go out. So, what could go wrong? It's her first date after the breakup, so she decided to buy a new dress. As soon as she walked out of her house, she sensed that she was being watched. She looked around but saw nobody. She continued her way. While waiting for an Uber, she still feels uncomfortable. She has this strong tingle that someone was following her, but she couldn't see anybody that is suspicious. As her Uber arrived and departed to the mall, she looked back and saw a man in a black jacket, but she didn't really find him suspicious either. As she was looking for a dress in the department store, a salesman approached her and tried to offer one dress. The salesman told her that she will look very dashing wearing that dress. She picked another dress and went to try the two dresses. As she was trying it on, she noticed the shoes of the salesman outside of the door. Then he knocked 3 times and asked, "Can I see you wearing that dress, ma'am?" It was very weird for her, but out of respect and courtesy, she opened the door and showed it to the man. But his facial expression was very inappropriate, like he was trying to undress her in his mind. So she shut the door and began changing back to her own clothes, returned both dresses, and went to another shop. Jade finally found a new dress and went straight home afterwards to get ready for the date. Tom told Jade to meet him on the nearest 7-Eleven. While walking to their meetup place, a man in a black hoodie jacket with a mask on his face was hurtling towards her with a knife. She ran as fast as she could, dropping her purse on the ground. She thought the bag was all he wanted, but the man ran past the bag and still continued to chase her. Luckily, a patrol car was roving in the area. The police turned on their sirens, stepped out of the vehicle, and pointed their gun to the man, yelling, "Freeze! Drop your weapon or we'll shoot. Put your hands in the air." The police cuffed him and took off his mask and hoodie. Jade looked on his face, but he doesn't seem familiar to Jade. She tried contacting Tom and texted him everything that had happened, but he never replied, and he never showed up to the 7-Eleven. She realized that the man was this so-called Tom, just using another innocent man's picture to get girls on Tinder. We'll never know how many girls fell into his trap, just like she did. After that traumatizing experience, Jade never used any dating apps or went to any dating sites ever again. Last night, I had nothing to do. Due to being bored, I scrolled along the Google Play Store to find an app that I can download. I heard about Tinder on social media and also my friends and websites that I visited, so I decided to give it a try. I uploaded a decent picture of me, filled up the necessary details, and finished everything. There were a lot of beautiful women that seemed interesting enough. I chatted with some girls They replied and we had a decent conversation. But it was already 2 a.m. and I was tired. One by one, I told them good night and fell asleep. The first thing that I always do in the morning when I wake up is to check my phone. I saw that there was one girl that sent me a message at around 4:30 a.m. So I replied to her. Not a split second since I pressed send, she saw my message right away and saw that she was typing. I assumed that she was using the phone, and when she received the notification, she clicked it right away. No big deal. Actually, we had a decent conversation. We got to know each other well, but she wanted to know where I live. She wanted to see me tonight, just to chill and watch Netflix. Me, who was bored and all alone in the house, I agreed meeting with her. I went to the store to get some microwave popcorn, some potato chips, and a 6-pack of Corona beer. To be honest, I expected a bit of action to happen, so I also bought a pack of condoms. She told me that she will be there at around 7:30 p.m. I readied everything because I was really excited to meet her. At around 7 p.m. sharp, I heard the doorbell ring. While I was hurtling towards the door and was already expecting it to be her, I got a text from the girl, and she said, "I'm here. Please open the door for me." Then I get a strong feeling in my gut to look at the peephole. There was no girl, but there were two guys with black masks on. I stepped back out of shock. They noticed I was on the door, but hesitated to open the door. So they knocked hard. They knocked harder and harder and said, "Open the fucking door or else." I called the cops with my phone right away, but a third guy was trying to get in the house through the back door. Luckily, it was also locked. I ran upstairs as fast as I could, but they broke the window so they can come inside. I hid in the bathroom of my room and locked all the doors. The police were on their way. I told them that I was on my room upstairs on the left. They told me not to drop the call until everything is done. The robbers had shut every light in the house. It was pitch black. 7 minutes passed by. The police arrived and noticed the broken window. They readied their guns and their flashlights and shouted, "This is the police. Drop your weapons." They searched around the perimeter of the house. They noticed the back door was open. They entered the house and searched everywhere. They knocked on my door and told me the men were all gone. I hurried towards my office to check the small safe box that I kept. It was gone. I got a text from the girl saying, "Thank you." I tried calling the number right away, but I think they already broke the phone and threw it away. Luckily, I was unharmed, but I will never meet with anybody online ever again. Growing up, I was a pretty shy kid. I never dated any girl because I was so afraid to try. Now that I am on my mid-20s, already an engineer, working in a good company with a good amount of money, I think it's time to step out of my shell and start meeting people. I have a few good friends that I can count on. They were the ones that encouraged me to go on a new dating apps. It was Friday morning, 25th of May. I decided to download Tinder on my phone and started using it afterwards. There were a lot of ladies that were my type, but on the back of my head, I knew that they will not feel the same. Still, I tried liking their profile. I made a few matches, but I was never going to message them first anyway. Then, one girl messaged me, told me that I am cute. She was way out of my league, but I told her that she was cute as well. We had a decent conversation and I was starting to like her and the way she talks to me. She invited me to a party at her friend's house. She gave me the address, and luckily it was just a 30-minute drive. I said that I was down and I'll meet her there. I was very excited, but I feel anxious about going out. It was not easy being an introvert. But as I told myself that I needed to go out of my shell, I decided that I will go. I took a bath and got ready, put on my perfume, and applied wax on my hair. I talked to myself in the mirror to boost my confidence. Then I went. I arrived at her friend's place and she met me at the front door. We were drinking, partying, dancing. I was so drunk that I tried to kiss her, but she rejected me. I told her, just tell me that I'm not your type. She tried to calm me down. I became furious and I tried to walk away, but I slipped on the wet floor and fell, and everybody was laughing. I was so humiliated that I went hurtling outside. She followed me and she tried to comfort me. Then blackness covered my eyesight. I grabbed the garden fork I found in the lawn. Then I stabbed her on the chest. Blood splattered all over me. I was not myself. I did not know what came over me. But it was too late. I killed her. I killed the only girl that I have ever loved. She's gone now. I'm sorry. So that's how I ended up in jail. That's why I am in court now. I am sorry for everything, but I plead guilty.